Welcome to Vlog, the sequel to the sequel of the sequel. I think I've made 3. One more sequel just in case. Of the sequel. I just watched a very interesting documentary about Asian American men and their relations with non-Asian American women. And it really sparked a lot of feelings for me. I mean, there's so much I could talk about regarding that topic. Me being an Asian American male trying to get into the entertainment industry, trying to become an actor. I guess I am an actor, but I could be better. And I want to get better so I can entertain and get people thinking. That's a story for another day. Back to this documentary. Well, it really brought back some old memories that I hadn't really thought about for a while. Specifically, a number of stories, but today I'm going to share one story of when I was a young child. I'm not that old now. I'm not going to tell you my age because that's none of your business. But this goes back to elementary school. And what happened was I was about, I think 7 or 8, pretty young. And these 2 older students, I believe they were maybe well, they were big, and they knew how to talk a lot better than I did. My elementary school had this huge field of grass that, oh my gosh, it was like a plain. I'll just call it the Great Plain. So, turned into a cowboy story. These 2 older guys decided it would be entertaining for them to chase me through the field and scare me, I guess, give me a good scare. But for a little kid like me, I was a pretty sheltered guy, boy, not even a guy yet, just a boy. And I didn't know what was happening. I was terrified. And they chased me through these 2 huge trees. I remember the trees very well because we used to make fun of them. Tree teasing. But eventually they ended up cornering me against a gate, and they did not rape me. But they cornered me against this gate, and they started, trying to egg me on, like, hey, look at the little kid, huh? Hey, little kid, what are you gonna do, huh? Come a little scared, huh? You wanna start something, huh? And they're all like, I don't exactly remember what they said, but there was a lot of laughing, and I felt really powerless. Like, that was one of the most powerless school-related events of my life. I'm just paralyzed. I have no idea what to do in that kind of situation. I don't know what they would have done. Even as an adult now, I still look back and I don't know what would have happened. And so, when I was younger, I didn't really go out much when I was a kid. So I watched a lot of TV, and something that I always looked forward to was the Bruce Lee films, like Fists of Fury, that one especially. And I remember thinking back to that movie in my head, like cycling through all my options of survival, which aren't that many for a kid my age. Well, a kid my age raised in America. Somewhere in the Middle East is a different story. Or in Africa. Oh, let's not get political. I thought about Bruce Lee, and I clenched my fists, and I brought my fists up, and I got this really intense, fight game look in my eyes, like. And I made the most. I tried my best to do the Bruce Lee scream. I swear to God, it was. What was I thinking? I started to do the. And of course, I hadn't gone through puberty yet, so it was especially high pitched. But those kids were, I think they were afraid for just a second. Just a second. So Freddie W, your short wasn't as far-fetched as some people thought it was. But then again, see, I should have just kept with that, but I decided to take it up one more step, since it seemed like I had the upper hand. I started to do that weird balance thing he does. I don't know what the phrase is, but he goes on one foot and he brings his hands up. I think it looks something like, you know what, it looked exactly like this picture right here. And I made the sound again while doing that thing on one foot. But the thing is, I started losing my balance, so I fell over. And they started laughing even harder, and I was kind of laughing too. I was like, right, guys? Let's not do anything drastic here. I thought I was over. I thought I was dead meat. Then this other kid, this Asian kid. Not sure if that mattered. Maybe it did. This guy runs up in a very heroic pose, and he strikes this awesome pose, and he goes, "What's going on here? Let him go." And I'm looking at this guy like, oh my god, you're my hero. Wow. He's the real deal. Even though he was I think I need to take martial arts so I can actually distinguish whether or not he was actually striking a pose. But I believe it was a karate pose. And the two guys, they were afraid, so they they froze up, right? And they were looking at this guy who had just popped into the scene like he was Black Mask or something, and he goes, "Get out of here! I'll hold them back." And boy, I ran like Forrest Gump, and I didn't look back. Maybe once I wanted to see if he was kicking their asses. I can't remember exactly what I saw, but I ran fast. Should have joined track. Well, I was in track for a while, but then I joined swimming in high school. Beside the point. I look back, and to this day, that was so staged. It seems so staged, but it felt so real. I had no idea how to take it. Even now, you tell me. You think it was real or not? I hope I described it in the best detail I could, but yeah, that's my story. And for a long time, I wonder if I really even cared. I wonder if that even affected my life. Did it affect my life? Actually, ever since then, for a long time, I was embarrassed. Like, people would call me Bruce Lee. And I kind of had the haircut. You'd think, wow, that's a cool name. Bruce Lee was an awesome guy. He kicked ass, man. He kicked ass. But I think deep down, I just wanted to be me. And I didn't want who I was to be restricted by someone who came before me. I wanted to be my own person. And I wanted to make my own life. And make my own dreams. And make my own aspirations. So for a long time, I just stayed away from martial arts. Maybe when I was younger, I really wanted to learn, but after that event, I just pushed it aside. College came, started doing jiu-jitsu and jeet kune do. Jeet kune do, that was that was nice, because I got to confront that part of my life again, and gotta say, I learned a lot. So it raises the question: stereotypes. Fuck 'em. So what? If you can do it, feel happy and proud of yourself, and look towards the future with something to hold on to, screw it. Follow your dreams, because you only live once. YOLO. I hate that phrase so much. I mean, I hate that acronym so much, but I'll use it once. YOLO. Because just because. Bye, peeps.